Hey everybody, it's Matt Johnson here again with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Thank you so much for joining us. We are talking about goal setting, and we're not just talking, we are debating. This is a full-on scrum, a rugby scrum over goal setting. So this is going to be a lot of fun. As always, I'm joined in the co-pilot seat by the junior grandmaster himself, Greg McDaniel. Greg, what is up today?
Matt, what's up, my friend? You know what? You just want to get rough, dude? I'm just going to armbar your ass when we start talking about, goal setting and stuff. Matt and I have very different opinions on how to set goals. Now, at the end of this, I am fully confident that you guys are going to 100% side with me. So let the brawl begin, my dear friend.
Okay. Well, before we do that, as we wait for people to join us live and watch this fun little interaction we're going to have, we've got a few things to get to. So number one, for anybody that's watching this on the replay version, thank you so much. Thanks for telling a friend in the business about the show. That is the primary way that we grow the show and get new listeners, new viewers. So just do yourself a favor, if you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube. And then if you want the audio version, just nestled right here in your earbuds, head on over to iTunes and Stitcher and subscribe there, depending on the handy-dandy device that you have. And Greg, you have some very fun shout-outs for people that you have talked to in the last few days, don't you?
I do. So we'll make these pretty quick. Freeman Burns, Sandra Weber, thank you guys for reaching out about equity. I will be getting back to you guys. We should have some pretty exciting news today about a partnership that at the end should be signed today, but if not, early next week. Drew Miller, dude. Tonight, brother, we get to talk. I appreciate you reserving a Friday evening for me for an hour we can hang out and chit chat. Robert Garcia, dude, where did you go, homeboy? You hit me up yesterday about the McDaniel challenge, and then you vanished. Dude, get back to me. Let's set a time. Congrats to Charlotte. You are joining our team. We are pumped to have you. We see a tremendous future with our team. And then Cherish. I think I said that right. I did. It says Chair and then Paris. So Cherish. Great 2-hour talk with you the other night. I really enjoyed it. Your boyfriend is awesome for suggesting you reach out to us, and keep it coming, guys. So for that being said, guys, the McDaniel challenge is very simple. Call me on my cell, 925-915-1978. Reserve a time, guys. Times are booking up. It kind of multiple days ahead now about when we can get on the phone and talk. It's a free hour coaching from 6 till 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You guys have direct access to me. Let's unpack, as Toby would say, unpack your problem, put it back together, and get you guys back out there making money. So take the McDaniel challenge. Call me.
That's right. And what do we ask for that in return? Just telling friends about the show? $1,000. Yeah. No, tell a friend about the show.
Like
subscribe
the show.
to YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever the case is, but mostly just tell friends in the business about the show. We love it. And then if you're interested in having McDaniel, Greg McDaniel and me come to your office and speak, we do like a Real Estate Uncensored Live that we're putting together for 2016. So if you're interested, let your broker or your team leader, office manager, whatever the case is, know that you'd like to have us in so that they can check us out, and then get in touch with Greg, take the McDaniel challenge, hit him up, set up a time to chat, and we'll see if we can hit your office. So that'd be awesome. We've got a couple questions we want to get to from the Facebook Lead Gen Scripts and Objections forum. If you're not already a member there, it's Aaron Wittenstein's group. Me and Greg are both members. It's an awesome community of agents asking questions, getting a lot of feedback and help from other agents helping each other. And so we've got two questions I want to get to, neither of which Greg has heard. And then we'll get into the regular, the full-on debate about goal setting. So this will be the time of the show where me and Greg still like each other. So this
I'm not so sure about that, but we'll tell everyone else that.
That's right. All right, before we get to that, a couple shout-outs to our lovely and talented sponsors. Number one, Viral Marketing. Thank you so much for cutting a check to make Hangouts and podcasts like these happen. If you're interested in doing real deal online video and email marketing to get more referrals and repeat business from your database, check them out, getviral.com. And then, like Greg mentioned, Equity. It's a buyer lead generation platform that's built from the ground up for the solo agent. It's the perfect number of leads for you to work on a consistent basis. It's exactly what I would, if I was going to get back into real estate right this second, that's the first thing I would do is sign up, because they hook you up with a lender to pay half the cost, and you're able to get a sustainable number of buyer leads that you can work and start generating business right away. So thank you to the both of those. Any updates on what's the deal with Equity, by the way, the big news?
The big news is we're going to be inking a deal with a major loan organization, and they are going to be backing half of the cost of all the lead gen that the agents sign up with Equity. So you guys are going to have a built-in lender partner that's going to follow up with the leads and help nurture them to success. And they're going to take as many agents as they possibly can. So if you guys are struggling, need a little bit of help on your finances, and don't have a lender partner or want a tremendous lender partner to back you up, guys, that's what equity is. By the way, guys, that's the Eileen Landon right there. That's the steel trap right there. There she goes, guys. That's like seeing Elvis.
It's a rare sighting. That's right.
Yes, it is.
It's like Elvis and the Abominable Snowman just walking down the street holding hands.
It is. Yeah. And I will be stiffly reminded on Monday morning, don't you ever do that again. That's I'll be like, next time you're on camera, I will most likely point you out just because you scolded me.
If it was possible for Eileen, she would install a trap door beneath her desk so that she would literally just go down a chute and it would pump her into the parking lot out back.
Or just take her up through the roof so she can, anywhere this camera can see, she's not in it.
Exactly.
She would love that.
So a couple questions. So the Facebook lead gen description objections forum, if you're not already a member of that group, it's an open group. Just shoot Aaron a request. It's facebook.com/group/gotobjections. Always want to give them a nice plug because it's a fantastic community. So first of all, the first question actually is from our friend George down in, I believe he's in Delray Beach, Florida. So it's been a while since we talked on the phone. George is awesome, and he put up a question the other day, and it's right in your wheelhouse, Greg. So he says, here we go. So he did some circle prospecting. I got someone interested in listing, but the objection is, quote, we may sell it ourselves and put it on Zillow.
Oh, good. You're intelligent. I'm so glad that they're going to save that commission. And traditionally, a for sale by owner is going to get 14% less when they go to sell their home. They have no idea what they're getting themselves into. They've watched way too much HGTV, and they're sitting there going, "Oh yeah, it's so easy. Look at those realtors. All they do is they drive their Mercedes, put the sign on the yard, get a contract, review it, and then they make $30,000." They couldn't be more wrong. And so, George, for that, go to the National Association and look at the stats that they have pulled and the interviews and the different documents that they have in regards to what homeowners that tried to sell their home on their own have said post this attempt. Okay, look at the stats and go back armed with information and numbers. Show them that working with you, paying the commission, is actually going to net them more money because they don't sell homes for a living. You do. So you have access. You're set up. You're a complete business in a box, and you just need to prove to them logically that that is the case. Now, a lot of agents just say, well, why not work with me? And the homeowners say, well, we don't like real estate agents. Our transaction last time was horrible. We can do a better job. I have a friend that's going to advise me, yada, yada. But they have no idea how much time it is going to take out of their career and their life and how much they're going to have to learn along the process. Not to mention, Matt, all the pitfalls that these fools are going to fall in. They're going to trip and boom, face down into their first puddle. Because I guarantee you, do they know about TRID? No. Do they understand the different terms and conditions and the different, snafus you can get into by not keeping your timelines? Do they understand what would happen, the ramifications of a notice to perform? What does that really mean? Do they really have the 48 or 24 hours? Where's that stated in the contract? No, they're already dead in the water. These fools need to be reminded, George, that you are the man of the hour. So go out there armed with information and knowledge and get that listing and get back to us.
Yeah. Good advice, Greg. I like it.
Well, thanks, Matt.
And I'll start. Well, a great way to start that is one of the best quotes I ever heard in response to that type of objection, which is, well, what's your real goal? Yeah. Is it to save the commission, or is it to get on to the next home? Because if your real goal is that, I can show you how I can get you there, where you can still pay the commission, you still net what you need to get to the next home. And what is your real goal? Isolate what the real goal is.
Oh, absolutely. You just got me ramped up on it because I get fed up with people thinking that real estate agents are just a bunch of jokes. Right. Anyone who's watching this obviously isn't, but a lot of the fools that are out there, do give us a bad name. That's why people think that way. But this is a profession, and when people discount us, it pisses me off.
Well, food for thought. Let me ask you a question, Greg. And I'm going to put you on the spot and play devil's advocate a little bit, okay?
Oh, God. All right, bring it, playa.
Okay. How does the average agent show, not just tell, but how do they show a potential client that they actually are better than another agent or better than them selling them on their own, right? So if you could, I would venture to say that if you're an agent in that position, you don't have something to show a potential seller on all the systems that you have that go into marketing and selling their home, because all the stuff is still up in your head.
Right. So what you do is pretty simple. You go and partner up with someone who's a top agent in the area that has a reputation and a reputation for getting the deals done in a quick and timely and efficient manner. If you don't have that, go tout your brokerage's success and what the brokerage has been doing. Talk about your team that you have. Talk about, what they bring to the table, and literally go line item every single thing that brokerage brings. So you have a transaction coordinator, you have a receptionist, you have, a DocuSign, you have, win forms, you have digital signatures, you have, people who call up the signs, people who call down the signs, you have people that set up the, open houses, you have people that put up the signs for you. Just, it's a laundry list of the stuff that we all think are mundane, not really cool, but to a seller, it is really cool because they don't get, guys, they don't get all the complexities of this business. So show it to them, line item that stuff out so that they see like, oh shit, that's a lot of stuff that goes on. Wow them with a large list and then say, we can take care of all of that for the low fee of 20% of your entire
That's right.
And then let them go, right. I thought it was 6. And be like, okay, I'll do it for 8.
Just
kidding. They're like, out the door, dickhead.
Yeah. But that's a good lesson. So put it down on paper. Have something that you can actually show people that gives them an idea of all the systems that go around, go on behind the scenes of how a home is actually marketed. If you don't have that, if you try to explain it on the fly when you're getting that objection live, it's going to be difficult for you to convey the confidence in the systems that are going on. Have that stuff, stuff out and worked out mentally beforehand, and have it on paper so you can hand them that and say, these are all the stuff. These are all the systems that go on behind the scenes of getting your home marketed to the point where it sells. Whether you have to go grab that, like the 189-point marketing system there's a whole bunch of them out there, the 115-point system, the 89-step marketing system, but have something like that to where you can say, look, these are, this is not HGTV. It's not me running around with my iPhone in my car, just wheeling and dealing it on the phone all day. These are all the things that have to be done, and this is what you're paying for.
Yeah, and be prepared, like Matt's saying, and be upfront. Like, guys, tell them. Actually, it's a great script, guys. This is not HGTV. There's not a camera crew waiting outside. That's not how it works. And then lay it out. So yeah, that's the way I would do it. But if they still persist on it, then whatever, move to the next client.
That's right. Which they may not just be serious in that particular instance. They may just not be serious about moving right now. That's a pretty typical well, we'll think about it. We'll put it up on Zillow at some point. Like, yeah, okay, maybe.
Up on the Zillow, yes.
Anyway, we'll put it up on the Zillow after I watch an episode of The Seinfeld.
Instead of the Godzilla, the Zillow?
That's right.
The big thing climbing the hill. Never mind.
All right, that's enough out of you. So we've got another question from Amna. Said emailed and expired. Response was that she's going to list it with a local realtor who has 20 years of experience because that makes the most sense. So she writes back and says, great, I can understand that reasoning, but would you also consider a new agent who's hungry for business, maybe more tech savvy? So basically the question is, how do you respond to someone that is looking or potentially going with an agent that has more experience than you? How do you overcome that objection?
Well, thank you very much for your time. I think you're going with the right choice. Goodbye. No. What you
just lay down.
Just lay down and just take it. Just get kicked like a dog, and then whimper with your tail between your legs and just walk out the door.
That's right.
No, all honesty, probably what you'd want to do is, if it's a new market that you're moving into, research that marketplace. And if you're predominantly a buyer's agent or something like that, tell them to the fact, hey, look, I know I don't have a lot of years in your marketplace, but I do represent a lot of buyers buying into your marketplace. Therefore, I am logically the best agent to be hired because I already may have in tow the buyer for your home. So as Matt said earlier, what is your true goal here? Is it to go on the market and have hordes of people trample through your home, eyeball all your things, steal some of your jewelry or some of your prescription medications, tell you that they don't like your coloring or your backyard or everything else, finally find that one needle in the haystack that decides to give you a under the market offer, and then you can just go on with your life. Or option B, you can hire me and I can bring the specific buyer to you that I already have in tow. What would you like more?
That's a great script. That's awesome. I like the vivid detail of having your jewelry and prescription drugs hoisted off and airlifted out by a helicopter. It's awesome.
And there's a high probability that some kid's going to walk through dog poo on his shoes, you know, and track it all over your house. I mean, that's just shitty.
That's right. All right. All right.
But you know, you really do have to come up with a logical explanation. I mean, I banter and play and joke, but that really is a script that is used widely and very well done, because people do not want to live in a fishbowl, guys. They do not want to have people come through their house. They legitimately just want to sell the damn thing and move on. That's why they're potentially going with that veteran agent, because they are like, well, you know, I've seen Becky around forever, so I should probably hire Becky. But this Matt guy, I don't know. I've never seen him. Who's this Matt guy? Well, Matt could be, you know, already made multiple videos about the home, put it out on multiple different sites. People are already calling him and they don't know it. And Becky's still sitting there with a flip phone going, so what's that number? I don't have one of those smartphones.
Phones of smart.
That's
right.
Just come up with your own objections, but be creative and always look at it from the reverse if you have to, because you have value, you have traits, you have skills that will suit you as the better agent. You just probably haven't thought of them yet.
Yeah, I agree, and that's something we're going to talk about in a couple of weeks when we have six-figure coach Jenny Williams on the show. She's going to talk about how to discover your unique edge, because there is something about everyone, regardless of how long you've been in the business, regardless of your personality, whatever the case is, there's something about you that is unique that you can use to present yourself and separate yourself from other agents. There is something. You just have to find what it is, and she's got some key questions that will kind of help pull that out. That episode is in 2 weeks on Friday. So
just make sure that your unique difference is not your body odor. Okay.
Let's make sure that we want to avoid that in general. Yeah, I don't think that's quite what she's referring to.
Or your spontaneous drooling.
But there is something, yeah. But let me say, there's something that I picked up from a guy I used to work with that's here in San Diego. It's his pitch to sellers was, I do everything a traditional realtor does plus, and I think it was like his 5 things, right? So, but whatever it is, like that's a great approach. So if you're a young, hungry, tech-savvy agent, if you can present yourself that way, that's great, but break it down into tangible things that you can tell a potential seller client. So, you know, Mr. Seller, I understand that person has a lot of experience. I do everything a traditional realtor does as well, plus these 5 things. I'm going to make upload a native video to Facebook promoting your coming soon, as well as your listing and your open house. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z on the tech side. And then because I'm young and hungry and I don't have 10 other clients to babysit, I'm going to be out there in your neighborhood knocking on every door, inviting them to a neighbors-only open house. And then I'm going to call 300 people in the extended neighborhood around to invite them, and then I'm going to get on the phone and call every top agent who sold a home here in the last 6 months, and I'm going to talk to them about the buyers that they might have that didn't get a home here last time because they were beat out by someone else in a multiple offer situation. Like that's how you quantify it and break it down into real tangible points of difference that you can present to a seller client. It's not just about, hey, I'm hungry, I've got more time. What are you going to do with the time?
Bam. That is what you call knocking it out of the park, Johnson. That's what you call bringing it, baby. I just wrote that down myself. I have Charlotte's coming on the team, right? I need to help make her stand out. She's 24 years old. How the hell are you gonna make a 24-year-old girl stand out? Well, because she's gonna do everything that a normal agent does, plus all this other badass shit. Yeah. Which she definitely can do. She's a cool chick.
Yeah, good. So that was a little preview of what's about to come in this goal-setting debate.
Let's go, bitch.
All right, before we get into that, if you are interested in having us in your office to yell at each other and yell at you, that'd be fantastic. We'd love to do that. No, but if you want us to come to your office to talk about high-touch prospecting and some of these marketing approaches, just let us know. Let your broker know, run it up the chain, and see if they're interested in having us. We'd love to come out and hang out with you in person. So
yeah, or we'll do it over the video if we can't get there in person, guys. We'll figure out a system to do it. Remember, we do it. We're here. It's a fanarchy. We do it for you. We love you. It's because of you. We thank you. We cannot wait to meet you guys one way or the other. Yeah. So let's take the gloves off, put the knuckles on. Let's get it on.
Opening statement, Greg. So we have very different approaches on goal setting, which is what brought this episode up in the first place, right? So we're always going back and forth. I mean, we talk probably with especially for the show and for the business and stuff like that. And we have such different approaches that we often butt heads on what needs to be done, how quickly things need to be done, what to focus on, and all this stuff. So that's where this is your overall approach to goal setting.
You went all frozen face on me, man. I don't know what the frick you said.
Okay, I think we're still recording. Go ahead.
Your
overall approach to goal setting. Opening statement of the debate.
Opening statement of the debate, guys. You need to be realistic, but you have to be optimistic. You have to not just look at today or tomorrow or next month or this quarter or this year. You need to look big, long term. And I always am a big proponent of those gnarly BHAG style of goals. Everyone is going, what the hell is a BHAG? Big, hairy, audacious goal. All right, something that literally makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck, your toes and feet starting to sweat because you have no idea how you're going to get there. And it can be anything. It's going to be different for everybody. But I believe that you have to write them down and you have to review them, both the short term, midterm, and long term every day. And if you can't do it every other day, at least once a week. So those are my goals. I'm always, if there is something that is new, Matt and I were just doing this. We were doing some advertising on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, Matt, I'll just throw $1,000 at it. He's like, Greg, why don't we just throw like $300 at it? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
Not very inspiring, yeah. Greg's
well,
like a flower wilting.
Why only 300? That sucks. I want to spend money. No. Okay, so what's your comeback?
Well, my comeback would be I am focused on what can actually be done, what you're actually willing to fully commit to. So my perspective on it is that people, especially in real estate, especially those with, let's say, coaches, traditional coaches, are always pressed into, huge, audacious goals, right? So I mean, the standard approach seems to be take a goal that's stretching it. I hear agents say, I want to double my business. I want to do, if they're doing 25, they automatically want to do 50. If they're doing 50, they want to do 100. Like that's psychologically, that's the way it works. So, but then you ask them, okay, well, what are you going to do to get there? Just, man, got to make more calls. I'm like,
no idea.
Yeah, okay. No idea. So it comes down to, there's nothing wrong with thinking big. My feeling on it is that it's great as a creative thinking exercise, and we'll get into this more, but my opening statement is that focus on what you can control, focus on what you're absolutely willing to commit to.
Yeah. I would rather.
What say you, Greg?
What say me, good sir? Yes.
What say you?
What say you? So the number one thing, guys, for goal setting, I agree but disagree with Matt. And the reason why is that, yes, focus on what you can control, but also say, fuck it, let's just go for it. Pull the Richard Branson. I mean, he's a multi-billionaire, and his whole model is screw it, let's do it. Let's try, let's see it, let's throw it at the wall, let's go. You never know what that next thing is that can really make it big. Now, there's a technology that I'm using, and I'm not going to tell everyone what it is, but my father thought I was out of my mind when I told him what it was. And he's like, that'll never work. I'm like, well, I'm still doing it. Guys, we've picked up, I think I have like 25 or 30 people next year that are gonna be buying or selling with me. We have 2 properties were listed, and we turned one of them into a 1.4, almost $1.5 million buyer. And this is just by using this system and technology that everyone thought I was nuts, and I went big on it. I went huge on it, and it's paying us back in dividends. So I didn't go to the controlled route. The controlled route would have been like dipping my toe in the pool, like, ooh, it kind of worked. I jumped, I cannonballed that bitch, and water went flying, So that's why I don't agree with it, because every time I've gone big on my out-of-the-box, crazy-ass ideas, they've always come back and paid us back.
All right. I believe you're wrong, and here's why. Because you have a little thing that I like to call entrepreneur memory. Okay, which is that, and I've noticed this with other entrepreneurs, which is why I call it that. It's the short memory of everything is going to be the best thing ever, and then the last thing that didn't turn out to be the best thing ever is just we've forgotten, it's just whoop, right out of the mind.
Well, I've never failed, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly, I've never been something no recollection of those events.
Like all my past relationships, no, those didn't fail at all. Wait, where are they? I don't know. They were successful with someone else, I guess.
That's hilarious. All right, that's a whole other podcast episode on failed relationships.
Oh, don't get me started there, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually have a PhD in that division.
Really? That's school of hard knocks.
Working on my doctorate. But anyways.
So entrepreneur memory. So I think when you say that every time you've gone big and it's worked out for you, I would say it's probably because you're not remembering the failures, because when you go big and you go quick, it flames out and you don't remember it. You don't recall it, right? As opposed to my approach to goal setting, which is very ritualistic, okay? So I believe if you're going to take an approach to goal setting, that it should be, use creative thinking to think big, and then figure out, different ways of working, different technologies you want to try and stuff like that. I love that. It's great. However, when you get down to what you're actually doing every day, at some point your goals have to change what you're doing, right? There has to be some sort of behavior modification, right? If I come to you, Greg, and I'm an agent that's doing 2 deals a month, okay? I want to do 4 deals a month, but I'm not willing to change what I do every day. Am I going to hit 4 deals a month?
Of course not. That's where you set a goal, but then you have to put the action in behind the goal to make that goal come true. That's where the visualization comes in. That's where reviewing it every day comes in. And you have a very valid point on that, because I've talked to agents that say they need to make money. I'm like, well, how much time are you putting into the business? About 4 or 5 hours a day. And these are brand new agents. I'm like, you're doing it wrong. Get out there. You need to be putting 8 to 10 hours a day in religiously. Oh, and guess what happens when they actually do that, Matt? They make money.
They magically get clients.
Oh my God, that's amazing. They all of a sudden have all these buyers and listings coming up, But you're right. I mean, if you have a goal, you have to man up or woman up to actually achieve that goal. Does that mean you have to spend time away from your kids and your family or your spouse? Yes. You have to miss that TV show? Yes. Thank God, because the Housewives show. Personally, I can't get enough of it, Matt. But I know that everybody else out there.
Yeah, I only DVR 5 of them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you see the new one? No, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally as far as that joke goes, because neither one of us know.
We have no clue.
Okay. Now, what about this? All right. So here's one of the problems I have with big, hairy, audacious goals. Right. So you get this rush of emotion, you get this rush of excitement, rush of adrenaline. Right. Yeah. That inevitably wears off. It is only a matter of time, which is why every single New Year's resolution, 90% of people fail. The gyms are empty in February by the time, 45 days rolls around and the gyms are empty. The gym parking lots are barren wasteland with tumbleweeds.
I was just going to say tumbleweeds.
Exactly. With people driving around looking for the closest spot to park by the gym.
Do you want to know something really funny? I'm going to get you back on that. Yeah. But I laughed my ass off at it. But my parking... Fuck, Greg, start talking. 24-hour Fitness, where I go to work out in the mornings, there is a Chick-fil-A in the same parking lot. So you have the people coming in
better than a Dunkin' Donuts. And
then other people coming over here to get fatter and then go through the drive-thru for breakfast, and other people are coming back out from working out. It's very funny. So now the spouses and people that come to my gym, because I'm going to the gym, honey, get the bag, and they can actually hit the Chick-fil-A on the way in. Nice. So
I like
back
it.
to you.
Sounds good. Delicious. Sounds delightful. All right. So the problem with big goals, this is the way I see it, is the emotion part, right? Because the emotion inevitably fades. So what do you do when the emotional high of setting your big, hairy, audacious goal leaves you, and all you're left with is the daily activities that you're supposed to do to hit this big, hairy, audacious goal?
Well, you need to have a why. Your why needs to be stronger than anything else. You have to have such a burning desire behind you that's lighting a fire into your ass that's going to make you go out there and do what you need to do. If you're flat ass broke like I was with $35 to my name, do you think I'm going to sit on my ass and play video games? Hell no. I'm going to be out there hustling, grinding. When I did the 73,000 phone calls in 2 years, do you think I was sitting on my ass doing nothing? No, I'm grinding it out. That's why the big, hairy, audacious goal, let's say you want to, is so important, because you have to have that carrot that's up there, that you are going to go through the bullshit all the way through the chain of these different things. But that's the journey. You have to enjoy the journey. You have to have the carrot, but enjoy the journey in the middle. But you have to have that why to push you up that chain. Okay, if you don't have that, you will fail. Every person that Matt and I work with, the first thing we talk about is, what is your why? And it can't be, all roses and candy canes. So like, oh, I just want to help people. I just love houses. Oh, just because I like real estate. That's not a why. that's a byproduct of you wanting to get in here.
That's why you enjoy watching HGTV. It's not why you get into real estate.
Exactly. Well, HGTV, I got a bias on that. I don't really like it because we're in the industry and it's so freaking fake.
Yeah.
I also don't like decorating. If anyone saw my house, you would know it. I have like paint splotches on my walls, and they've been there for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, I don't know what color. Anyways, you know, where the hell were we? I was ranting.
Emotion, the big why.
The emotion, the big why, yeah. And so my why, guys, is I will never be broke again, ever, under any circumstances. I have my BHAG is Greg McDaniel's net worth is $650 million with more than $100 million in cash at all times. Now, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but that's my BHAG. I have it written in my shower in lipstick. Not my lipstick, okay? I'm clarifying that. Ex-girlfriend's.
Well, I would just like to point out that you did have to go and buy that lipstick.
I did have to go buy it. That was so awkward.
Yes. I remember that story. That was fantastic. Here's the problem with the BHAG, right? It does not affect your daily goals. So I don't think there's anything wrong with necessarily having one. I would call that a dream. I don't consider that a goal, right? A goal. What are you holding up to what are you holding up to the camera?
This is my dream book. Everybody who can see this, guys, I carry this with me everywhere. And I write in here everything that I want to do. Like I have my 2-year goals. I'm just going to read it because turning this thing around and showing you guys. But I do have images in here. I do type stuff in, but then I handwrite stuff additionally in. So here are some of my business goals. Like I changed my business goals. I kind of marked those out. But I want to show you this. All of you guys watching us. For any of you guys that can see that room right there, it's a conference room. I wrote that before an incident. Was it earlier this year? I think earlier this year. I was asked to speak in front of our entire brokerage. Guys, that is what the room looked like, almost to an exact T. All right. It is unreal how by visualizing or writing down and redefining your goals. I put in here that I want to speak at TED Talks. I want to speak at NAR and CAR and Inman. Matt and I just found out that NAR and CAR are always looking for speakers. And so we'll be speaking at them in 2016. I achieved another goal. You guys, physical fitness. Okay. Anyone who's watching this as a female, do not judge me. I am a male. So I decided to go for it. If I wanted a female, I wanted knock out of the park body, beautiful face, but then I was super specific on my goals. I mean, nitty gritty specific. And a lot more. Don't laugh at me. Hey, that walked off.
I only have a top 10 list, so I have no idea what you're talking about. And then the secret list beyond that's much longer.
The secret list. Ooh, I want this attribute and this physical trait and the stuff you don't tell anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about commitment, if you don't mind.
You better have it.
Well, yeah, let's outside the relationship. All right, So like to me, those are dreams, right? They don't affect what you can do today and tomorrow, okay? So when I set goals, I want it to be something that affects the way I behave. Or if someone comes to me and they have a goal, the first thing I'm going to ask them is, great, what are you doing tomorrow that's different from what you're doing today? And then if they can't come up with that, then that's an issue, right? You have to be, if you're going to set goals, they have to be broken down into the steps that you're going to be able to take to get there, and those steps have to be in your control, right? So to me, the whole big, hairy, audacious goal, like all these big, lofty goals, they are creative thinking exercises, and that's how I look at them. So like on the weekends, I'll take time to think about just what do I want in life? What's the end goal? Like, what do I really want? Where do I want the business to go? Where do I want our business to go in this case? I'll think about those things and I'll look for creative ways to get there, right?
So I can see like this, like,
well, it's more like sitting at Starbucks across from the beach going.
No, that's actually more realistic with Matt. But so you're saying you don't want it to be like mental masturbation, and it's a lot of fun, but then it's a lot
of goal setting, like a lot of like a buddy of mine just came back from the Tony Robbins like business mastery, and he said it was like a spiritual experience, a mega church experience, which is exactly what it is. And I've been in those environments, and I know how they get people emotionally wrapped up. You start talking about big, hairy, audacious goals, and you start like whetting your appetite, and you start running that through your mind. It's great. It gets your emotions fired up. The problem is if you go right back to living the same way you did on Monday as you were when you were at the conference or the church service the day before, nothing's actually going to change. So that's what I'm more interested in, is actual behavior change, and that's why you have to have a different approach to goal setting.
So if he went to fat camp and you got all pumped up on eating carrots and everything else, but then you go home and you go right back to the donuts and the ding dongs. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, if you're the guy that hits Chick-fil-A on the way to and from the gym, maybe not so much.
Not going to work out so well for you.
That gym membership might not pay off for you. You need to look for one that's in the abandoned part of town with nothing but industrial buildings around the gym. All right.
No, but so what you are talking about a real factor. It's called the conference high. You're just like, woo, I'm going to rock it, and then it's like, oh, my wife is bitching at me again. Oh, my husband's a pain in the ass. My kids are screaming. Oh, I don't have time for this. That's why it comes back to the why. Your why has to be stronger than your why not. End of story for any goal, big or small.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's in it for me. I found mine. Matt found his. I know Eric, who's watching us live. I know you have his. He has his. By the way, Eric's awesome, dude. He's listening to us all the time. His wife even knows my voice across the room.
That's funny.
Yeah, and he's always saying that, like, when his people are walking around, he has his earbuds in. They're like, "What are you listening to?" He's like, "I'm listening to my coach." And so, because of our podcast, we're helping him achieve his goals. Because I've talked to him several times, and he's setting his stuff up. He's going to be a mega rock star. So, cool. I diverged again.
Yeah, yes, you did. Let's get back to commitment. Okay. So one of my favorite books, all right, The Power of Full Engagement. So they talk a lot about rituals and routines. So for me, like the big hairy, like Greg's approach to goal setting doesn't work so well for me. So I have, I have a motivational booklet similar to Greg's, although I prefer text over pictures. That's the way my mind works, right? So
We're at 37 minutes.
It's insanely good, right? So they talk about in there about how rituals and routines can propel you to success. Just the consistent daily actions, which Greg, you've read the Compound Factor by Darren Hardy, another phenomenal book. Many times. If you read those two books together, that to me is the best approach to goal setting, because it actually changes your daily actions. And when you're talking about actually achieving goals and achieving success in business and life and sports and music, whatever the case is, the world responds to action. The world doesn't respond to dreaming. It doesn't respond to mental masturbation. It doesn't respond to goal setting. It doesn't respond to anything that goes on up here. It responds to action. If you can't get yourself to take action, nothing will move for you. Nothing will happen for you. So you have to do whatever it takes for you to take action. So I learned that a long time ago, that for me, the whole bit, like having a huge dream and then having like nothing in between, doesn't work for me. I set my goals in like monthly and 3-month and 6-month increments, because that to me is it builds up that why. Like I have a very, very long-term why, but I don't think about that on a daily basis, because it's not real enough to me to influence what I do today. I think about where I want the business to be a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, where I want my life to be 6 months from now, because that's vivid. Like I can visualize that here, and that can affect and motivate me to perform better today. Because if I don't perform better today, and tomorrow I don't perform better today, and the next day I don't perform better today, like none of that stuff is going to happen, and I can sit around and dream all I want, and none of those things will ever come true. So I want things that I can turn into a very like a system, a ritual, a routine that I can do every day or consistently over time that will produce me the result that I want, right? So if I want to get faster at single stroke rolls on the drum set, like you have to sit there and you have to map out a time when you can set aside a half hour every single day and do nothing but this.
Oh my God.
And that's not a joke. My parents still joke about that, about how growing up, like all they heard from my room was just nothing but that consistent like tapping noise.
That must have driven them insane.
Yeah, well, it would explain a lot of my mental issues. But anyway,
the incessant tapping is happening again.
No, but like the whole big hairy audacious goal thing, like if you apply that to building a skill, spending 2 hours a day once a week on something isn't as valuable as spending less time on it every single day, even if it's just 15-20 minutes. Gary Keller himself practices guitar for 20 minutes a day. That's enough to keep on getting better as a musician. If you spend, like, what's better, Greg, spending 3 hours once a week prospecting, or starting off the day every single morning for a half hour prospecting and keeping that going through your entire real estate career?
Well, it's just yes, what you said. Yeah, doing it on a consistent basis. I can't talk today, but yeah, what you're talking about is doing something today that you'll thank yourself tomorrow for doing.
Right.
And see, that's where we differ. See, I am 100%, I'm on that path. Like, I'm always bettering myself. There's time block, there's regiments, there's things that I do on a daily basis, and I'm always trying to tweak it. That's why I'm always looking for new technology.
Right.
I got off a blab with Toby Salgado this morning, and the guy named another guy, Jason. Shit, man, I'm so freaking sorry for butchering that. I just in a different mindset. But we came up with some new technology I didn't know it was out there, which is absolutely amazing. So now I can go take that and put that into my daily regiment on what I'm doing. Dyslexic, I don't like to type. Reading is not a lot of fun for me. I just found out about a free video emailing program that I can use. It takes the place of BombBomb, you guys. But having that carrot, having that visualization, putting the visualization into my dream book and seeing myself achieving my goals, for me, the visualization is tremendously impactful. Watching that, looking at that female body and then watching it walk off the page made me fall over. Okay. That's how I get there. I look, I study, I visualize, and then I put my my brain towards that goal. I don't like to read it. So that's where we differ. But yeah, I agree with you. We do need to do things on a daily basis. You need to have a why. You need to have, someone pushing you. You need a mentor. You need someone you're going to be accountable to. I mean,
yeah.
For me, for a long time, people always say, well, who are you accountable to, Greg? And I didn't have anyone at that point that was able to be accountable to. And so I said me. And so I made a logical decision in my brain. I said, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Because if I break a rule or break what I say to myself, how can I ever hold my word to anybody else? Yeah. And so I would go through the pain. I would go through the heartache. I'd go through whatever it took to achieve the goal that I put down. And it does take time, guys, for you to grind it out. This is why goals are not achieved. People, the idea of them are really sexy, but the reality of being a successful person in life is very hard. It is not like it is in the movies, okay? People only focus on the result. Bill Gates spent 10 years never taking a day off, working every single day. Nobody talks about that. They only talk about his results. Mm-hmm. So, there's a guy, Toby just had an interview with a guy, Matt, out of Texas. He did, I think, 36 or 38 deals his first year. Guys, he made a decision that he was not leaving the office until he got an appointment, not finding a lead, setting an appointment. He did 108 deals the next year.
That's awesome. Dude, tripled his business. That's incredible.
He blew it up because he made a decision to make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. You have to just literally choose. It's like you're choosing to take your next breath. You're choosing to have your next meal. You're choosing, to do that next action that's critical to you for your survival. That is exactly the same importance that this is going to be for your business.
Yeah. Now let me play devil's advocate with you again. So naturally, okay. So that brings me to my third point about your style of goal setting, which is I would be very careful with goals that don't absolutely depend on your actions. Right. The third element to me of goal setting is control. That if you're going to set a goal, it has to be something that's within your control, right? So part of our goals is we want to do 3 episodes a week. I don't know how many people are going to watch those episodes or how many people are going to listen. I know the listenership and the viewer base is growing. That's what I care about. I'm not going to set a goal for, I want X number of people to watch our next broadcast, right? All I can control is whether we put the content out there and put the best product out there that we can. So if I were in that agent situation, I wanted to triple my business, I would figure out what my conversion rate is, how many calls do I need to make versus how many leads and then leads to appointments. And then I would figure out how many additional calls I need to make. Can I make those? If not, can I hire someone to do it? If you're doing 3 deals a month, you can probably afford to invest in some lead generation tools, whether it's prime seller leads, whether it's all the way up to like Real Geeks and Boomtown and all that stuff. So there's ways to leverage your time, but I would take an entirely different approach if I wanted to triple my business, rather than holding myself to the office to setting an appointment, which is not directly in my control. I would figure out how many calls on average it takes to get an appointment, and I would hold myself to making that number of calls every single day, day in and day out, regardless of the result. And
Right.
that's the difference in the approach.
Yeah, but what if calling sucks? What if door knocking blows? What if all this traditional stuff is just not what you want to do? Dude, look, I'm a huge proponent of this. The way marketing that we're doing is changing radically.
Yeah.
Cold calling and door knocking and emails and everything, that's all great. That is a staple in your business, but it's not the only way you need to be prospecting. I am encouraging Charlotte when she joins our team. She likes to run. I'm like, great. You're going to be running like twice a day because I want you in every running group out there networking. Get out there, share a bond with people. They'll like you trust you. Then you guys talk. They'll start bringing business to you because they know who you are, and you're the one sweating next to them, up that hill. Okay. Chris did this on his biking. Terry did this in his swimming. I did this in my bar hopping, minus the sweating part. But it was going out and doing something that you like. And Matt,
I would hope so, minus the sweating part. Okay.
Yeah, sweating, and yeah. But Matt, I'm sure is going to do this in his, coffee addiction, and loyalty to Starbucks. You never go to Pete's. Pete's is the Antichrist. You must stay with Starbucks.
I actually am, what would you call it, a coffee agnostic. I don't so much care. If I'm traveling, I like my iced coffee from Starbucks, but hot coffee, I'll drink anything.
Really? So you're telling me you're going to drink like Chevron coffee?
I literally don't know what this is.
It's a white mug with dots on it.
That's right. It's an IKEA cup full of something that resembles coffee. That's about what I care about in the morning.
See, I'm not agnostic about coffee at all. Like, they bought like cheap ass coffee the other day. I took one sip. I'm like,
just throw your coffee. Just slam your coffee cup against the nearest wall. It shatters.
Bullshit, man. But I talked to Debbie, my front desk. I'm like, Debbie, this sucks. She's like, this shit really sucks. Please don't serve this. She's like, okay, I'll go get the Pete's. I'm like, thank you, God.
Yeah, you're in the Bay Area. You can't get away with bad coffee.
No.
Well, let's get back to some of those, like the tech tools that you're talking about, because you mentioned some to me before we went on the air, and I want to give you a chance to mention them specifically and give people some cool tech tips, because there's some cool stuff coming down the line, especially if you're into Periscope or Meerkat.
Yeah, guys, I'm not messing around. Some of this shit I cannot wait to play with. So here's one. If you guys want to do like a Blab, you're into that stuff, or a Google Hangout or whatever else, some sort of streaming video feed, there's a thing called XSplit. And what it'll do, there's a free version. You can bring up images or videos, and it'll cover the front of the screen. You can put up a timer, so it'd say like back in 5 minutes or something else. It's a really cool tool that if you wanted to maybe explain a property to a client and they don't get it, well, you can have the images that you've downloaded and pull them up and then have them full screen, and you can talk about them real time and then send it over to them. Really cool thing. I'm going to use that in a couple of different ways. There's another one called catch.me, KATCH.me. What this does, it takes a lot of the Meerkat and Periscope feeds that you're doing, and it will drag those, it will store them, put them up into the cloud, and then push them out to other social networking sites. So instead of Periscope going away in 24 hours, you're actually going to keep them with this catch.me stuff. So it's really, really cool. Now you have an opportunity to build up your library and then redistribute the information. Super badass. One of my favorites is called EyeJot, EYEJOT. This is a free video email service. Okay. For the free version, you can send up to 50 emails at a time. You can do the Pro or the X Pro or whatever it is, pay a little bit of money. This stuff is so cool.
This is the one you thought would like either compete with or make BombBomb obsolete or something like that, right?
It could, if you have no budget for BombBomb of like $400 or $500 or whatever it is. You guys, BombBomb is specifically built with scripts and for follow-up systems with video emails. That's what it's really for. This is more of a rough cut version, so you could use this for the same thing. It would just be in a video email. But if I just wanted to send Matt a video and be like, hey dude, what's up? Okay, this is what we're going to talk about in the next podcast. This is yada yada. This is where we are on these different projects we're doing. Hit me up, bud. Bye. Click. Boom. And you can send it out. For me, that's a much more usable technology. So those are just three of them I like. So XSplit helps put stuff up on your screen. You can see it, or images or videos. Catch.me catches all your Periscope and Meerkat feeds. And then EyeJot, EYEJOT, is video email. So some pretty cool shit, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, that is actually some cool stuff. Especially the catch.me is the one that probably caught my ear when you mentioned the rundown of things that you found out about today. So
No pun intended on that.
that's right. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the hearty debate on goal setting. So,
And thank you for awarding me the winner. I truly appreciate it. I wear my
really, I was
crown
not
with
aware of
pride.
that poll that we did not run. I feel like I still won that, and I have a book recommendation.
It was a poll of
The
one.
Power of Full Engagement. Jim Lohr and Tony Schwartz. Go get it. Go read it. Let it change your life. Greg, you have a favorite book on goals?
On goals?
Yeah, goal setting.
Thanks, bud. No, I didn't know we were blowing up.
Just thought maybe there's something.
What, do you think that's going to put you over
Well,
the
I
line?
wanted to give you a chance to contribute. Since I gave out mine, I thought I'd give you a chance to give yours. You usually have some pretty good ones. I mean, The Compound Factor by Darren Hardy is a really good one. It's a favorite of both of ours.
Yeah, Compound Effect. I also like
Compound
his other new book called The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. Since you are entrepreneurs, go out there, read it. I really enjoyed it. But I will give a tip for all you guys. It's not a book. But it is a podcast that I found. It's a radio show that they have turned into a podcast. It's based out of the East Coast, but it gives incredibly awesome national news on the real estate industry. It's called Real Estate Today Radio. This is basically what it looks like right here. If you guys can see, it's the little blue one on the top. Mm-hmm. And I listen to this thing religiously because it keeps me up to date on what the trends are coming down the pipe and a lot of other things. So listen to that. Also, just came out, Matt, I did not tell you this. Facebook next week is going to be allowing all of us, Groms out there, aka the average human. Remember the Facebook Live they've been talking about? Some of the celebrities are doing. They're releasing it out to all of us.
Sweet.
I cannot wait. Oh my God. Awesome. Yeah. So. Okay. I guess I came with the tech, you came with the book, I won the debate. I guess we can shut this thing down now.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. All right. Well, let's give a couple shout outs. Number one, if you want to check out the complete farming training video series that me and Greg have put together, we released that last month. Just go to the website, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. Just the 5 minutes link is right up there at the top. There's a free 3-part video series that'll get you started. And then viral marketing, as always, thank you for cutting a check to make hangouts and podcasts like these happen. You can check them out at getviral.com. Remember, viral with a Y. And then equity, just hit up Greg if you're interested in doing a buyer lead generation program that's built from the ground up for the solo agent. And then, as always, the McDaniel Challenge. What is that?
Oh, yeah. McDaniel Challenge players. Come on. Do not make me spend a night alone.
Wow.
I had to say it.
Note to admin, edit that out, please.
Never. Do not make me spend a night alone. Call me. Let's talk about what's going on with you, what you're stuck on, scripts, techniques, styles, tech, real estate, mindset, whatever is coming to you. Let's get it out there. Let's hash it out. Let's make you a better, stronger agent. Call me 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978. Call. Text me, guys, book a time with me, and let's get down to it and get you guys out the door making money.
Cool. All right, and for anybody that's with us on the recording, just remember to subscribe right here on YouTube. And then if you want the audio version, head on over to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe there. And if you'd like to have us come visit you in your office and do a Real Estate Uncensored live on high-tech, high-touch prospecting and marketing and anything other topic that we talk about here on the show, let us know. Take the McDaniel Challenge. Get a hold of Greg. Get a hold of your broker or team leader in your office and hook those two up so that we can talk about coming to your office live. And then we are back here on Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, with another episode. We've got Matt Clausen back talking about working with developers, builders, and so forth and so on.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome episode, guys. Remember, he is a writer for house.com, so he has some really cool insights on some of his past articles he's written. But, you guys, this is the Fanarchy. It is run by you, for you, because of you. Give us a heads up on any guest we should interview on this show, and kind of always stay in touch with us and let us know your successes. So we do it for you because we love you. And we truly want to see you succeed. Thank you beyond words can ever be, mentioned, that we are so appreciative of you guys watching and listening to us. It makes us, it gets us up and gets us moving every morning.
Definitely does. Yeah, thanks again so much, guys. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next episode of Real Estate Uncensored.
See you guys.